All right, let's get into it. We tend to think of history as this fixed thing, right? A bunch of facts that happened a long time ago. But what if it's not like that at all? What if history is more like a story that we keep retelling over and over? And what if the way we tell that story actually says more about us right now than it does about the past? I mean, you've seen this face everywhere. Che Guevara, the revolutionary. But how does a guy like that end up on a Madonna album? Or even mashed up with a character from a sitcom? How does a rebel become a brand? Well, the answer is all about the power of representation.
So first, let's just trace this wild journey from revolutionary icon to a face you see on a t-shirt. Okay, a quick history refresh. Before the t-shirt, there was the man, Ernesto Che Guevara. He was an Argentine doctor, an idealist who joins up with Fidel Castro to overthrow the government in Cuba back in '59. To many, he became the ultimate symbol of that revolution.
And this is where that symbol really caught fire. For the counterculture kids in the 1960s, especially across Latin America, Che's face wasn't just a picture. It was a banner, a rallying cry. It meant freedom. It meant pushing back against the powers that be. It stood for the dream of a new future.
Which of course brings us right back to our big question. How did that powerful, anti-capitalist, revolutionary symbol end up on a mass-produced t-shirt you can buy at the mall? The answer isn't in what he did, but in how we look at history itself.
To really get it, we need to unpack this key concept from a historian named Roger Chartier, this idea of re-representation.
And the secret is right there in the word itself, in that little hyphen. It's not just about an image of something. It's about the act of representing it. You're taking a piece of the past, dragging it into the present, and by doing that, you can give it a whole new meaning.
And Chartier himself really drills down on this. You have to separate the symbol, the thing doing the representing, from the thing it's supposed to represent. Because as we're seeing over time, those two things can get very, very far apart.
So what this all boils down to is that history isn't just a static list of events. It's an active process. Every time any group in any era tells a story about the past, they're building a version of it that makes sense for them, right now.
Okay, but why do these versions change? To figure that out, we have to go even deeper and look at the collective mindset of an entire era.
And another historian, Michel Vovelle, gives us a great way to think about this. He splits things in two. You've got ideologies. These are the big, organized, stated belief systems, right? Like Marxism or capitalism. But then, simmering underneath all that, you have mentalities. These are the deep, unspoken, gut-level feelings and assumptions that a whole society shares. It's the stuff that just goes without saying.
Yeah, nobody sits down and decides on a mentality. It's collective, it's often unconscious. It's like the invisible pair of glasses an entire generation wears, coloring how they see everything from who their heroes are to what they're afraid of.
And as the historian Jacques Le Goff puts it, this stuff changes so slowly. Ideologies and political events can shift in a heartbeat, but these deep cultural currents, they move like glaciers. They're part of what historians call the longue durée, the really, really long-term currents of history.
All right, so now that we have our detective tools, representation, and mentalities, let's go back and solve this Che Guevara mystery once and for all.
So flash forward to 2003. Madonna drops her album American Life. It's a full-on critique of the Bush era, the Iraq War, and the American dream. Now, when she puts on that beret, she's not saying she agrees with Che's specific politics. No way. She's representing his image. She's borrowing its rebellious, anti-establishment energy to make a point about her time. Or, get a load of this, Che Madruga. It's a mashup of Che with a really beloved character from a classic Mexican sitcom. Now, obviously, this has nothing to do with revolution. This is all about the mentality of nostalgia for adults who grew up in the 70s and 80s. They're representing a childhood hero as a kind of folk hero.
You see, at the end of the day, whether it's a pop star's political statement or a fan's nostalgic meme, each new image is like a snapshot. Not really a snapshot of Che Guevara, but a snapshot of the moment it was made, its culture, its politics, its sense of humor. And this whole idea of representation, it's not just for pop culture and t-shirts, it's one of the most powerful things that artists use to capture the world around them. Take a look at this incredible painting from 1933. It's called Operários, which means workers, by the amazing Brazilian artist Tarsila do Amaral. This is so much more than just a painting of a crowd. It's basically a history book on a canvas.
I mean, just think about everything she packed in here. In the back, you've got the factory smokestacks. That's the rise of industrial labor. But up front, you see the human side of it.
Those faces show the massive ethnic diversity of Brazil, all the immigrants and migrants who are literally building the country. You can feel this huge shift from rural to city life. This isn't just a random group of people, it's a whole society in flux, dealing with global labor movements and even brand new ideas about where women fit into all of this.
So with one single powerful image, Tarsila represented the whole complicated, messy, exciting identity of her nation as it was changing. She gave a face, well, 51 faces, to the story of modern Brazil. That's the power of this idea.
So after all this, what's the big takeaway? How should we think about the past, knowing that it's always being reshaped in the present?
Here it is. History isn't a single dusty old photograph in a frame. It's a kaleidoscope. All the little pieces of the past, the events, the people, the ideas, they're all in there. But every time a new generation or a new artist or a new activist picks it up and looks through it, they give it a little turn, and the pieces fall into a brand new pattern, a new image with a new meaning that makes sense for right now. And knowing that, that's a superpower.
So I'll leave you with a question to chew on. Who are the Che Guevaras of our time? What historical figures or symbols do you see being represented all around you today? And the really important part is, what do those new patterns, those new meanings, tell us about us, right here, right now?